What up, y'all? Appreciate you showing up, hanging out, listening to my dumb ass. Like and subscribe. So Gamescom is on. Has started. Has begun. Jeff's goofy ass on stage. Hi guys, this is Jeff Kelly, and we're really excited about all these games. Yeah. The more he's whatever, doesn't matter. So I didn't finish watching it. I got about a little bit more than halfway through, hour and change in, and I saw a couple of things. Outer Worlds had another thing with the Sonic the Hedgehog showed up. The actor, I forget his name. He's funny. I like his character. His name is Mark or something. I like his character. It's pretty funny. Other than that, there's a bunch of other games. They had the Indiana Jones DLC, Order of the Giants, coming out in September, I think. Not sure. It's coming out this fall. There's a bunch of Xbox Game Pass games coming out. They showed Ninja Gaiden 4. Looks nice. It's a game show. I mean, it's kind of like what E3 used to. I think that's what Jeff Keighley said. He said, Kegel said, yeah, the E3 hasn't gone away. It just relocated, or I forget what he said. Something like that. I was like, that's cute, but no, that's not what happened. So I Gamescom is important because it is the other side of the world. It's the Europe show, basically, where all of Europe and plus happen, so it behooves Microsoft to have a presence there and to make it a good impression on those people out there so that they can gain some traction out there. As we know, PlayStation is the go-to console out in Europe, but I have a feeling that things might change. I mean, it's like I don't know if it's like a gut feeling or something, but it's like I'm looking at what Microsoft is dishing out. I'm hearing the zeitgeist, I'm hearing the rhetoric, I'm hearing the narratives that are like the genuine ones, not the ones that are trying to deflate and deflect and to disparage the great name of Xbox. The ponies, donkey, unicorns. I'm listening to everybody else and what they're saying. It's like, oh man, that's cool. And this down, I'm gonna buy that. And this, blah, blah. Can't wait for PlayStation games to come to Xbox. Can't wait for Helldivers to come to Xbox. Blah blah blah. I'm like, yeah, and all these positive things that are happening, even though the ponies and donkey unicorns are crying because they don't want to see their games on Xbox. They're exclusives. It's good for the industry. It's good for Sony. It's good for Microsoft. It's good for the industry. It's good for gamer. It's good for everybody. There is no loser in that situation, in that scenario, unless you're a donkey, unicorn, or pony, and you think you're losing because you're a dummy. Just saying. But sorry, sidetrack. But the opener for opening night live, that's what it's ONL, was Black Ops 7. And I didn't know what I was like. What is this game? It's Black Ops. I was like, oh, okay, that's pretty. I'm like, it looks like a Call of Duty game, but they are going. I don't know what magic sprinkle dust they're putting on these games, but those Call of Duty games, as far as like what they show, like the single player sections, because the multiplayer is multiplayer, whatever. But I'm like, yo, that looks like a game I actually want to play. I know it's a first-person shooter, and I guess it's the first time. Is it the first time this is happening? It's 4-player co-op throughout the campaign. I was like, what? That's like some Gears of War stuff right there. So I'm like, all right, that's more interesting right now. Let's see. And you can play solo. You don't have to play it like with people. So I'm like, oh man, this is. So I'm definitely gonna play that, probably solo. But that's cool, man. That's like you broadening the scope and horizon of that franchise in that way. And the Black Ops has always been kind of weird because it's like, oh, they're doing the psychological stuff and you're gonna jump into somebody's dream brains or something, and then that's why they had all the crazy stuff with the giant man with the hand and stuff. I was like, yo, this game is looking crazy, son. So I'm like, all right, cool. That's gonna, yeah, I'm definitely gonna play it because Game Pass. I still gotta work on my Game Pass song though. I have to usurp your boy. That song is it's annoying from my perspective because I am a music producer and I listen to people sing. I used to a lot. I just do my own stuff now. But it is very hard to sit and listen to somebody sing off key. It's very hard. It's so pleasurable. That sounded weird. Pause. It is so good when someone can actually sing and they're singing and you're like, thank goodness. Thank you. I don't have to fix all your notes. I mean, they probably still run it through, but it's at least it's like, man, I like notes that don't hurt my ears. Anyway, sorry, tangent. Um, but back to the Outer Worlds. They did a companion kind of thing. They showed all the companions off and say, no, you can't have sex with them. It's funny. That's gonna be a good game. I give it to Obsidian's. They doing their thug thizzle. They did the Monster Hunter Final Fantasy crossover, whatever. I'm like, a lot of that Japanese stuff is like Silent Hill F. Not a fan of Silent Hill, not really. I don't hate it. I'm just like, whatever. They were gonna show Resident Evil Requiem. That's what it's called. I didn't see that part. I didn't. I cut out before. I was like, nah. I'll go back and watch the whole thing again. But other than that's happening now. We'll keep talking about that within the days. But Jason Ronald and some other Jason were on the Xbox podcast recently, a couple days ago. They're talking about the future of Xbox and all stuff. And I was like, all right, cool. And he was talking about their actual hardware. And sure, it was kind of like promotion speak, or it wasn't like kind of, I mean, they don't want to spill their specs. They don't want to be like, this is what we're doing, this is how we're doing it, because who likes to copy? Sony. So they got to keep some stuff, a little bit vague, like, yeah, we're trying to push the boundaries and make a more powerful console, blah, 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 saying all the stuff that's vague and not too specific, but it gives you an idea of what they're looking for. And one thing that he said, Jason Ronald said, he said that this point in time with what Xbox is doing with their new console coming out reminds him of the OG Xbox when they first came out. And I was like, hold up. That's some promising stuff right there, because when the first OG Xbox came out, they were seated their pants. This had never been done before as far as Microsoft goes. They were like, how we do this? They took off the shelf parts, like put that, slap that, duct tape, bam, bam, bam. They took Windows and said, chop, 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 chop. Like, is Bill watching? No. They chopped it all up, threw most of it in the garbage. They were rock stars back then. They went against the boss's wishes, and they came out with the Xbox, and it was great, and it was beautiful, and it was better than the PlayStation 2. More powerful, of course. When I say better, I mean more powerful. And better performing. And there was no denying that. PlayStation had the reach and it was more popular, obviously, but Xbox came through, they came in, and they shook up the industry. Xbox Live a year later, boom. That's it and that's all. They changed it. They changed the industry so drastically that everybody else is copying. To this day, they're still copying Xbox. That's how powerful Xbox's presence is in the industry. And all these people saying, oh, Xbox is dead, or trying to downplay Xbox, y'all better hope that they don't ever go away, because Sony they're not doing any type of coming up with new things. They're not coming up with super nice. Wow, my vocabulary today is not good. They're not innovating at all. They have not been innovating. What's the last thing they innovated? Putting a DVD in their console on the PS2? That was it, right? That's probably it. Other than that, talk to me. Let me know in the comments below. What are the innovations the PlayStation? I think the recent innovation was doing the whatchamacallit, the HD Rumble in their thing. What are they going at? The whatever sensors. Wow. Same stuff that's in your phone. That's good. That was a good idea. But besides that, I mean, that's not like a super game changing thing, because it doesn't really affect the actual game itself. It's part of the accessory. It's part of the experience overall, yes, but it's not so far away from just regular old school rumbles that it's like a game changer. It's not. It's like it's additive, yes, but it doesn't make your games better. If your game is trash, your freaking DualSense ain't gonna make it any better. That's all I'm saying. And that's where I think Microsoft is trying to innovate in the software side, the rendering side, the rendering pipeline. He said a thing that I never heard of, Jason Ronald. He said neural rendering. And I was like, is that just a fancy way of saying like auto whatchamacallit? Auto what's the Microsoft one called? Because they said it like once and then they never repeated it. Like FSR or all those other ones, DLSS. Those AI upscalers and such. So I guess neural rendering is a different way of saying that, but I think I had an idea, right? This is a little bit of a tangent, but it's not really. Everybody's scared of AI. A lot of people are scared of AI because they don't think about how the applications can be beneficial to gaming, let's just say, for instance, since we're talking about games. And I was like thinking about Starfield, right? And in the beginning of Starfield, when you go and you're in the mine and you see like the facial animations for those two characters, I forgot, the Chinese lady and this other dude. It's excellent. It's like, yo, that's next gen right there, boost, right? And then there's another mission where you go into this pirate ship where they like steal all kind of stuff, and there's like a eccentric pirate dude. I forgot his name. And you can go in there and kill everybody, or you can just walk through and like make a deal or whatever it is. I forgot what I did, but his animation is he's in like one of the early trailers too. His animation is crazy bananas. It's like not even close to anything else in the game. And then I'm like, AI could probably help in facial animations. Lip sync, probably not, because they still haven't gotten that. But like facial animations, I'm like, yo. And if like, say if no, it would be cool. Like, for instance, I heard somebody complaining about the Claire. It was FreeForge, of course, the knucklehead. Jimmy Neutron himself. He was complaining about, the lip syncing is off and Claire Obscure Expedition 33. And I'm like, it's like this guy, he's supposed to be a logician. He's an illogician. He's the dumbest smart person I know. Yes, he's the dumbest smart person I know. Colin Moriarty, not as dumb. He has his dumb moments, but he is nowhere near as dumb as Reforge. Reforge is definitely the dumbest person creator. Dumbest pony. I got to figure out the bracket that I'm going to create a list. It's going to be definitely a top 5, might be a top 10 list actually, of ponies and donkey unicorns. Whether they dumb, smart, but I don't know. I haven't figured out the adjectives yet, but we'll work on it. But anyway, he said that, right? Oh, the lip syncing's off and the clear obscure, so it doesn't have the quality of it. He was talking about, I was listening to Alex's show, and he was talking about that no third-party games have the quality of PlayStation first-party. I'm like, he's an idiot. Anyway, AI could help in translation. So, like, the original animation, I believe, is for French, right? And I guess they use some sort of just kind of, I don't want to call it AI, but whatever animation protocol to, move with the waves, with the wave files. That's not a very hard thing to do in CG. I can do it with the EQs, and you can do it with anything. You just need first and second position, and put the first and second position for the wave, like the loudest and the quietest, and it does it, right, automatically, so you don't have to do anything. But AI could do it in a way that it's more realistic and closer to, what it would look better. Let's just say that. So I'm like, in that respect, AI would be cool. I mean, Starfield, like, say if they implement AI facial animations for all the things that aren't hand animated or motion captured or performance captured in Starfield, I bet you it would be 1,000% better looking than what it is now, because it's all like zooms in a little bit. So, and they say meow meow meow. That's what they do. So yeah, I was like, that would be kind of cool. So I don't know. We'll see. I still have hope for AI and how these creators implement it. Because like animation takes a long time. So stuff like that I think would be cool. Like walk cycles, for instance. Like, oh, if you could just animate a walk cycle or a run cycle, tweak it here and there, boom, it's done. So I think there is room for that stuff, you know. But but yeah, I mean, everything that the Jasons were saying is cool, and I think they were emphasizing Game Pass. That's only cloud. There may be another SKU of Xbox coming out where it's just a. I mean, technically, you could do that now if you just do it through your phone or TV or something, or PC. Well, no, not really PC, but I mean, that's what that whole puck. I forgot what it was called. Was it Lockhart? No, Lockhart was which I forgot what it was called. Keystone. So if they reinvigorate Project Keystone to be like a little puck, or like you see, what I was thinking is that if there's another kind of tangent, but not really. If Asus, they have the ROG Xbox Ally and Ally X, right? If they take that machine, the innards, they take off the screen, they take off the controls, and they just have the CPU unit, memory, and all that's the power, blah blah blah, right? It'd be a smaller little box. Put that under your TV or whatever, and it would literally be the ROG Ally X, except you plug it into your TV and you put a controller on it, and it would be a all digital system. It would be smaller because you see the size of it, right? I guess the size of it is about the size of an Xbox Series S, but it's thinner. But without the screen, without the batteries, what else? Without the controls, it would definitely, I would say, at least a 25% smaller. So that would be cool. They could do that. Boom, slide it under your TV. That's the new Xbox. As far as the OEMs for third party. So I'm warming up to that notion. Also, well, which was I didn't really think of this before, but I thought of it today. I was like, okay, wait a second. So Xbox, they're gonna make their own hardware. That's fine. They're gonna have unit sales for that. The ROG Xbox Ally and Ally X, are they going to count those as console sales towards Xbox? You see what I'm saying? And if that is so, then I mean they don't really do console numbers, but think about it, right? So let's say if they keep that metric, keep that number, just don't put it public, but whatever. So then they say, okay, Asus, you can make a little blue for the living room, sure. And then MSI comes through, we want to make it. All right, go ahead. Everybody's making Xbox consoles. Now it's not guaranteed they're gonna sell, 500 million of each, but it widens the playing field for Xbox. And now you have all these different machines that can do what Xbox does. And I'm like, that's kind of smart. It's like the approach of like a Call of Duty or Fortnite or whatever, where it's one game that's everywhere, except hardware. So you have all these hardwares that are Xboxes. And then you put your OS. That's the main thing. You put your OS on all these things. And the other thing is that they're taking a page from themselves with Windows. Windows is on every PC for the most part. I mean, there's, China, I don't think they use Windows. They use whatever they use. And there's some Linux boxes out there, and Ubuntu. I think Ubuntu is Linux anyway. Whatever, people are weird. They use that. But I'm like, okay, so if they follow the same Windows model where people make hardware, they get the license, throw Windows on it, boom, 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 you're good to go. Cool. But now I think they're merging and they're kind of smashing together Xbox and Windows. So automatically it makes all PCs out there potentially Xboxes, and then these new Xboxes can potentially be kind of sort of Windows. Maybe it's a dual boot system. Who knows what it is? Just hopefully it doesn't take up too much resources and blah blah blah. We'll see. But I mean, those are the kind of the things that I think about logistically, so that it may hamper performance. But I think they're working on that part for the game side. So I'm like, I don't see I don't see any flaws in what they're doing right now. And I'm like, yo, is this gonna be? I think this might be, because you be like, okay, I want the ROG, and then maybe I don't know, MSI. Who else makes freaking Gigabyte? I don't know, Gigabyte. Somebody else makes another version, but it's like sexier and stuff, and maybe it's cheaper, and it's like, yo, I like that one better. There's no limit in what. Well, I guess there is. They have to work with Xbox in a certain extent. As far as design goes, I don't know. I mean, maybe they probably have to get it approved. You can't make a penis shaped console. Like, here, there's a console. Like, no, we're not putting our name on that. Sorry, you better go redesign that, fool. So I am like, the potential for not expansion, but the potential for like just a plethora of different options for different people is kind of a good thing, because I prefer whatever, 360 aesthetic. If they make a new Xbox that looks like a little mini 360, but it's powerful like the next, I'm like, give me that one. I want that one. But then somebody else makes something else that looks like a PlayStation. They're like, I want the one that looks like a PlayStation. Okay, get that one. And then if I think there might be a market opening up. I mean, there is a market already for like the little mini PCs, which are, they have the mini ATX boards, right? I think that's what they are. Anyway, I'm sorry. And I'm like, okay, so yeah, that might be like, you see the mini, they're about that size, that might be the size of the next Xbox that doesn't have a hard drive and stuff. Depending, of course, because if it's like high powered, you're gonna have the cooling, because a lot of the room that's inside that Xbox Series X is the cooling, is the radiator in that bad boy, and the fan. The fan takes up about that much in the top. The cooling is like a big old block. That's like, plus the DVD drive, the Blu-ray drive. So if you take all that stuff out, it might be about the size, but a little bit thicker than the Xbox Series S, barely. Maybe, but yeah, man, I'm kind of liking the direction that video games is going right now. As far as like the business side, I don't like that too much, because these companies are getting a little bit greedy, and the greedy ones are even getting more bold and more greedy. So I don't want their greed to cause any type of shrinkage as far as like a collapse or anything like that. But I'm looking at Microsoft and I'm like, okay, as long as they don't mess up, as long as they keep it cool, keep it moving. I know Game Pass is probably gonna go up in price or whatever, but as long as the value is still there, as long as you're not screwing us, then we good, So it's a bunch of factors that could kind of sway it either way. And the last thing is that this whole thing, I would never think this would. Well, I mean, I can't say that because Sonic and Mario at the Olympics happened. So, that console war was destroyed because Sega left the hardware space because of reasons. But it's different now. It's different this time because Microsoft isn't leaving the console space. They're not leaving hardware because hardware is too valuable to their bottom line. It's too valuable to Game Pass. They are the heralders. No, they're the controllers of Game Pass. And if they don't have hardware, they can't sell you Game Pass. I mean, they can, but it's not as powerful. It's not as easy. It's not as it's less of an identity. It's just like a service. Like, okay, whatever. And they can do both. They can have a console. They can have a piece of hardware that is theirs with Game Pass. And they can also say, hey, you got a computer? Just go download the app. You got it there too, son. You got a phone? Download the app. You got it there too, son. I mean, that's what I'm waiting for. I'm waiting for my phone to be able to download some games and play on Game Pass. I don't think you can do that on the phone. Yeah, it should be. I should be able to download Electron on my phone, right? They should have Game Pass Ultimate cell phone stuff too. I mean, I can stream all day long on the phone, but when I'm on the airplanes and play some Balatro. That's what I'm saying. Instead of like buying it from wherever. I guess I would have to buy it. But anyway, that's the point. Future's bright. Open Night Live is happening. Gamescom, it's happening. It's good, and yeah, we're gonna see what's gonna pop off the next couple of days. But I appreciate. Hit me down in the comments below. Let me know what you think about what you've seen so far. Day one of Gamescom, Open Night Live, and you know, just like if you're a Sony person, that's fine. But you know, maybe you don't like the fact that PlayStation is putting games on Xbox, but it is inevitable, and these ponies got to deal with it. But anyway, I appreciate, and I'll talk to y'all next one. Till the wait.